News Epicenter, with me, Maria Shakil. India began the world's biggest inoculation drive on 16th of January. Today was the beginning of the second phase, in which senior citizens, those above the age of 60 and those who are above the age of 45 and with comorbidities will be inoculated. And leading from the front was the Prime Minister. Prime Minister Narendra Modi went to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences this morning and took the jab at 6:30 a.m. The message was loud and clear. If he can take it, so can every other person. And he took the Covaxin, which is of Bharat Biotech, regarding which there have been multiple questions raised because its efficacy data is being questioned on multiple fronts. With the Prime Minister taking the jab and rolling up his sleeves, has he put all the naysayers, the doubters to rest? Will this end the politics around the vaccine? What is going to be Government of India's next strategy? I took all those questions to the man at the helm of this entire exercise, Union Health Minister Dr. Harshvardhan. And here's that interview. The phase 2 of the inoculation drive began today. What has been the experience and the lessons of phase 1, which started on 16th of January?
You see, the lessons are very clear that number one, we have to laud the contribution of the scientists. I think they brought the vaccine development process to a successful end within the shortest possible time. I have seen over the years working in the field of health that vaccine discovery or vaccine development takes even sometimes 1 decade, 2 decades, and this has been happening with many of the vaccines. But this vaccine has been produced by our scientists within less than 1 year. 2 of the vaccines had been given emergency use authorization. We could initiate the vaccination of the healthcare workers and the frontline workers, led by our Prime Minister, who launched the vaccine on 16th of January. Till yesterday, almost 1,35 lakh doses had been given to these healthcare workers and the frontline workers. I think the experience has been very good. It has been very heartening, and although unfortunately there had been some, you see, efforts by some vested interests who think that politics is more important than the human welfare, where people have tried to mislead the country by giving statements about vaccination per se or about a particular vaccine, which had in fact caused a bit of vaccine hesitancy amongst a section of the population, which was the targeted group. But by and large, over the last 1.5 months, things have steadily improved on that front also. From what it used to be yesterday, it's better today, and it has become.
You would say that there is no vaccine hesitancy?
No, I am not saying that there is no, but still I would say that there has been a significant improvement, because we have tried to handle this issue. We have in fact used all possible means to get rid of the vaccine hesitancy. Still there may be few people or the frontline workers or the healthcare workers who may still be suffering from that. There also we have been appealing to them, like for the frontline workers there is a mop-up round which starts today and goes on till 6th of March. And I am hopeful that with now the head of the state taking the vaccine and taking Covaxin, about which lot of you see misinformation was given to the people, all doubts about the safety of the vaccine and all that should, I think, go. They should vanish now. And for the people who have been involved in politics also till now, my appeal is that stop. Enough is enough. Now you should also take the vaccine and contribute to the fight against COVID in a positive way.
I'm looking at some statistics. US had begun vaccination from December 10th, whereas in India it started on January 16th, almost a month later. India did the first 7 million doses, sir, in 26 days, while United States did it in 27 days. Thereafter, the US has averaged more than 1 million per day, whereas in India has fallen behind. What really do you think is the reason?
You see, you can't compare statistics like this. Ours has been number one, a targeted group. We have our own strategy. We had made it a point that in the next 1.5 months or so, we will first introduce the vaccination for the frontline workers and the health workers, starting with health workers. And these are the people who actually risked their own lives for protecting our lives, and their life was most at risk. So, that is why that was the target, and this strategy, you see, every country has its own strategic plan. Our strategic plan was discussed and deliberated, and we got the national expert group made in the month of August itself. What you are seeing today on 1st March or what you saw on 16th of January was the outcome of continuous hard work being done by the expert group and people in our ministry, supported of course by everybody and of course guided by the Prime Minister. So, you cannot compare these data. Still we are probably the fastest and maybe the largest vaccine giving country in the whole world, and you will see that now the way we are going to start today, it is going to scale up exponentially. Even today by 4:30 or so, almost 19 to 20 lakh people had got themselves registered on the CoWIN platform, and in the coming few days you will see a huge difference, because now the targeted group is bigger.
So, what is
Earlier
the time
it was a
frame that
smaller.
you are looking at, sir, as far as the phase 2 is concerned?
It's right now, you see, when we had started the whole issue, we had thought that we should be able to finish with these this targeted group by say June, July, and I hope that we should, and we will do everything possible to scale up the things, to make it fastest possible, and our CoWIN platform is capable of handling any number of patients, means not in lakhs but in even in millions on that platform they can be handled. It's a very robust platform, it's a very scientifically designed platform with full technical inputs, and has been tested time and again, and already you see it has helped the COVID warriors getting their vaccination, and I am sure that it is going to succeed in a much more successful way for the people above 60
How
and
much
those
is
with
the current
comorbidities.
stockpile?
Pardon?
How much is the current stockpile, and how much have you ordered it with
You
various
see
Bharat Biotech and other companies?
these technical details and numbers, because they keep changing regularly, but I can only assure you that Indian government has procured enough vaccines, ordered enough vaccine, so that there is no vaccine shortage in the country. We have ensured that every vaccine dose in this country is provided by the Indian government. We are providing all the vaccines, we are doing all the expenditure for all the vaccines, we are giving it to the state governments, who in turn are giving it to the private and the government hospitals, and we have made sure that everyone who visits a government setup, he gets it free of cost, and in the private sector, if people are willing to pay and if they have the capacity to pay, and if they want to go to the private sector, they have a capped price. The price of the vaccine has been just capped at 150 rupees and plus 100 rupees the maximum side for the private hospital to actually for the incidental charges and all those things. There also, if he wishes to charge less or if he does not want to charge, they are most welcome.
Well, it may be a very noble idea, Dr. Harshvardhan, to have this cap, but the private sector is saying that it does not really take care of their basic cost of the vaccine, and shouldn't the government then be supporting the vaccine makers? I understand the logic that there should not be any profiteering during the time of pandemic, but what about their own expense of making the vaccine?
You see, you please understand, I think probably you are not properly informed about how all the vaccines all over the country, whether in the government hospital settings or in the private hospital settings, they are to be delivered by the respective state governments to whom it will be delivered by the Government of India. Government of India will purchase these vaccines from the vaccine manufacturers at this minimal price, which has been capped after a lot of deliberations and discussions with them. And then for the private sector people who want to get involved or who have been involved, these are all these doctors who all these hospitals who are part of our Ayushman Bharat scheme, they are all there. All the hospitals who are part of our CGHS scheme, private hospitals, they are all there. And the money of the vaccine that will be given to the people in the private settings, they will you can say deposit that money in the government treasury to make sure. You see, as far as the private sector is concerned, they have that maximum 100 rupees that they can spend on giving the vaccine, and we expect the, you see, this is you have rightly said, this is not for something making a profit. Even that 100 rupees and all that is all been carefully deliberated and discussed, and stakeholders have been, you see, the states have consulted all the stakeholders, and then we have taken back the feedback from the states. The government had you see negotiated this ultimate settlement of this price of 150 rupees with the two vaccine manufacturers.
The private sector is complaining.
You see, I don't know who is complaining to whom, but at least we are not aware of that. But the state governments have deliberated and taken the private sector people at the state level into confidence, and they have all given us the feedback on the basis of which the decisions have been taken.
How soon is the government planning to bring this in open market, making it open for just about anybody who plans to buy it?
You see, I don't see immediately a plan like this, that because you have to appreciate that this is emergency use authorization.
So in that case, are there other vaccines in the queue? Covishield and Covaxin is in the market. What about others?
Others, I have said it on number of occasions that we have to appreciate the scientific community and the academic institutions, researchers, industry, everybody. They are all working. Right now there are, I think, more than 15-20 vaccines in various stages of development. A lot of them are in preclinical stages, and some of them are in advanced preclinical stages, some of them are in phase 1, phase 2 of clinical trials, some are in advanced phase 3 trials. You know at least about the Sputnik V and the Zydus Cadila vaccine. They are also in further very advanced stage. One of them has already asked for emergency use authorization. So they are in various stages, and we expect that as the time passes and we move forward in our fight against COVID, and for making vaccines available to the people, there will be many more vaccines which will be made available for our people also. And of course, as we are helping the whole world, already 28 countries in the in this vaccine Maitri, I would call it vaccine Maitri diplomacy. 28 countries of the world have already received our vaccines. Almost 40-45 countries, I think more than that, they are demanding vaccine from us.
Dr. Harshvardhan, talking about the surge that is evident in certain states, Maharashtra and Kerala, for example, is this because of the new strain of UK virus which is very infectious, and because of the situation that is emanating from this surge? Is the government looking at partial lockdown, because these states are also witnessing shutdown in certain districts?
Let me make it very clear, and this is not what Dr. Harshvardhan says, it is based on the basis of the reports that the experts have given to us and confided in us and have made it available to the states also, that this so-called surge has nothing to do with any of these strains related to UK or to Brazil or to South Africa, etc., etc. The surge, of course, is due to maybe I would say that two main reasons for which we have even sent the teams also. Our cabinet secretary and at level of our union health secretary and all, there we are continuously in touch with the governments, giving them instructions also, taking all the feedbacks also. I think two things need to be done. Ensuring that people don't take things casually now that the vaccines have come. People think that everything is fine now. There is a huge decline in the number of cases all over the country. There is a huge decline in fatality rate. Recovery rates have gone up to 97, 98%. So there is no, you see, no need for any complacency. COVID appropriate behavior and huge number of tests. That probably was the order of the day. That was the strategy: testing, tracking, treating in time. This is what the states have to do.
Last question to you, Dr. Harshvardhan. I have spoken to you at various stages of the pandemic, and you have sounded optimistic throughout about the manner in which India has handled. As of today, 1st of March, what is your assessment?
You know, I am an eternal optimist. Under Prime Minister Modi ji, we have worked relentlessly for COVID also. We have achieved significant amount of success, which is, I would rate it better than any of the developed countries of the whole world. I know that we will be through this COVID pandemic also very soon.
Thank you so much for speaking to us on that very, very positive note. Dr. Harshvardhan, always a pleasure to speak to you.
Thank you.
And Home Minister Amit Shah has also taken the jab. The first dose of Covaxin has been administered on him. Those visuals are also coming in. We saw the Prime Minister earlier this morning, and now the visuals coming in of Home Minister Amit Shah following the Prime Minister and going ahead and taking that dose. We have also seen several Chief Ministers, from Odisha Chief Minister to Nitish Kumar in Bihar. All of them have rolled up the sleeves. The message is to the citizenry at large that they should go ahead and take the shot. Let me bring in my guests now. We have Chhattisgarh's Health Minister T.S. Singhdeo, also on the show, Professor K. Srinath Reddy, President of PHFI. Professor Reddy, I am going to begin with you. What is the minimum number of Indians who have to be vaccinated to break that chain of transmission, sir?
I do not think we can give any numbers at the moment. Let us first remember that the main purpose of the vaccination is to protect those who are vulnerable from getting severe infections and possibly even fatal outcomes. Transmission can be reduced also by immunization. We are not yet certain as to what extent, but ultimately as the number of serious cases come down, the transmission also will come down. We do not know whether there is a particular threshold for the herd immunity that we need to attain in the country, where we can say over 70% or whatever will actually achieve that, because we have seen elsewhere in the world, for example in Brazil, where 76% of the people in the province of Manaus had antibodies. Nevertheless, the epidemic has continued to spread. So what we really need to do is at the moment, firstly, aim to protect the vulnerable people. That's why you're starting with 60 plus and then going on to people with comorbidities even at other ages. But over a period of time, we'll certainly reduce the transmission as well. But to put a mathematical number at this point in time would be pure speculation.
Okay, T.S. Singhdeo, you were among those who had said, why isn't the Prime Minister taking the jab? Today he did. He certainly fulfilled your wish. Now tell us, what are the challenges that the Chief Ministers and the Health Ministers on ground are facing vis-a-vis? Are there teething issues related to COVAX, the CoWIN app? What about the transportation, the cold storage? Has all those issues been sorted out?
I'd just like to make a small correction. I was never one of those who was saying that the Prime Minister has not taken the jab. I was always in agreement with the policy which was thought over and scientifically rolled out, that there is a process as to who is to be the priority. First the health workers, then the frontline workers, then those above 50, then the comorbid population, and that is the procedure which is being followed. So I have never been amongst those who have said that the Prime Minister should take it first. There could have been other people. There may have been other people from my party, other parties, if it is to be seen from a political prism, which it should never. The fight against corona is and must be completely apolitical. It is a human tragedy. It is a human situation which has come about, and it is to be dealt with in that manner. As far as the preparations are concerned, vaccines will be made available. Vaccination facilities have been made available. Private sector has been allowed to take participation. In terms of Chhattisgarh, we have 41 centers in the private sector who have been identified, who have been allowed to start off today. It can increase or keep the same pace depending on the number of people going there. Then depending on the facilities available, it is the largest cities who have these private facilities and more of the private facilities. In fact, 6 of our districts don't have a single registered of 28, single registered private facility. Of the government facilities, we are continuing with the health care workers and the frontline workers, 580 facilities, and we have opened up 60.
Okay, Mr.
Yes,
Dio.
ma'am.
Yes, talking about the politics of it, will the politics be put to rest once and for all? It all began with certain allegations coming from the Samajwadi Party and then the Congress leaders also jumping in saying ye BJP ki vaccine hai. Do you think all that will be put to rest? And also, given the fact that the Prime Minister chose Covaxin, he was administered Covaxin of Bharat Biotech, about whose efficacy data and the questions have been raised around it.
Yes, I am one of those who has raised that,
Mr. Dio.
and I continue to be with that. When the vaccines were announced on the 1st, 2nd of January, 2nd, 3rd of January, two vaccines were cleared. One was Covishield, the other was Covaxin. And even then, Covaxin was introduced presumably with the consent of the Prime Minister, the Health Minister, the Cabinet, or whoever are the decision makers, under emergency use authorization as a trial. I am not in agreement with that. We must not have the government promoting trials. It must be the company producing the vaccine who must complete the trials. The umpire and the referee mustn't be part of the game. They have to play. The referee has to check whether the players are playing properly.
Okay.
So I stand by where I was.
Okay, let me give the final words to Professor Reddy. Professor Reddy, what are you seeing the immediate challenge now that COVID 2.0 has been launched? This is phase 2 that has begun. Senior citizens, we can see through the day, there were long queues at all, public health centers and also at private hospitals to get the vaccine. The question is also about the private sector now saying that the cap on the vaccine is not something that they would be taking it well. They would rather say that they were of the opinion that the government should be supporting the vaccine makers rather than putting this kind of cap.
Well, I don't think it's a question of supporting the vaccine makers, because the vaccine is being supplied anyway to the government at a particular pre-negotiated price. It is not for open market sale at a large profit. What the private sector has been saying so far is that they will also join the entire effort in administering the vaccine with a little additional surcharge for the costs of maintaining the hospital facilities and providing the healthcare personnel who will give the vaccine. It's much more of a additional surcharge that the hospital will have, but it's not a profit-making venture. So I don't think we are in the business of trying to create profit either for the companies or for the hospitals. It is a question of joining together and then performing this task. And many of the private sector hospitals also have made the statement that they would only have a minimal charge for the actual additional facilities that they are providing rather than have a large markup.
So, Professor Reddy, when you look at this range and the scale of this vaccination, there were questions about hesitancy. Some experts were of the opinion that it's all right to have a slow process but make it slow and steady. Now that this second block of 27 crore Indians that have to be vaccinated, what are you sensing the immediate challenge? Will it be about the availability of vaccine? Because there was a huge section that believed that if the vaccine is accessible, then they will be rolling up their sleeves.
Well, yes, I think there was a bit of vaccine hesitancy, but which will be overcome now progressively as they see more and more people getting immunized and with considerable degree of safety. There is also a vaccine urgency among the people who are waiting to get vaccinated. What we need to do is to ensure that the combined strength of all the hospitals that are available and accredited to come into play in administering it in an orderly fashion. It is true that the cases rising in number is creating a sense of anxiety now, and many people want to get immunized as soon as possible. But we need to handle it in stage by stage, and we are going about it the right way by getting people above 60 first, and then everybody else above 45 with a comorbidity, and then bring down the age group so that everybody is covered decade by decade till we reach the lower ages. So I think it is a question of trying to get people firstly to accept the system and then line up in an orderly fashion to get their appointments
Okay.
and get their shots. Ultimately, we have to stand.
All right. All right, Professor Reddy and T.S. Singhdeo, thank you so much for joining us. That's all from me. I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching.